Hey guys, and welcome to Natural Aesthetics, the YouTube channel dedicated to my progress as a natural bodybuilder and in general promote drug-free bodybuilding and strength training. Make sure to like or comment the video, it really helps me out guys. If you've got any questions regarding training, diet and whatnot, feel free to post in the comments section. Check out my Facebook page, the link's in the description box as well. I'm also on Instagram and Twitter. You know, some of the people that you see on YouTube, albeit the ones who aren't actually lying about being natural, some just have incredible genetics. They're a lot shorter as well, and that sort of distorts the image of generally what's possible for the average Joe. My genetics is very average. I've been training for 10 years, and although most of that was probably not the most efficient way of training, I certainly have been grafting hard for 10 years, trying to achieve the results that I want to. I haven't felt that strong. Should have left it at 2. I wasn't feeling particularly strong, as you can see here. The third rep was a killer. Nice on the way down, nice and tight. As I come up, my back rounds. I lose the tightness completely. My elbows drop down, as opposed to keeping the back almost in line with the torso. My knees come forward too much. That's an example of what not to do. In hindsight, I should have just stopped at 2. Pretty good for benching this week actually. Went up to 132.5 kilos, which is the best I've done in a while since before my nerve inflammation. So pleased with that. You can see here a bit of a dodgy rep. I lost the trajectory of the bar, so watch here. My elbows flick back too far and I almost start pushing the bar outwards towards my feet. I then quickly rectify it by pulling my elbows back under and trying to get the bar back towards the rack. Also doing some close grip bench press. I think I did like 3 or 4 sets of 10 to 12 reps with this. This is a move where I focus on locking my arms out. On some of the other exercises where I'm doing sort of moderate amounts of reps, 8 to 12, I generally try and keep the tension on, keep it moving. But on these, since we're training the triceps, and the triceps are generally trained in locking out movements where you're trying to straighten your elbow joint, then I focus on doing that on a close grip bench press. Whereas perhaps if I was doing higher reps for my chest, I would stop just short of lockout and keep the tension on. Heavy barbell rows, pretty good week for these. This is 170 for 4 reps. Obviously, as you can see, it's loose form. You know, I'm not kidding anyone by saying that it's strict. But you know, they had a serious amount of mass to the back. I'm 100%, and I'll be sticking to these for the remainder of this year. Next up, this is an example of how to do cheek curls the proper way. There's a slight amount of movement at the hips. I'm almost just shoving the bar up the first couple of inches. If I weren't to do that, my reps would massively decrease. I got 15 here. If I wasn't using a little bit of momentum at the bottom of the move, it would be under 10 reps for sure, and well under 10 if I was to be absolutely strict. There's no reason to be completely and utterly rigid. Allow yourself a little bit of movement, as long as you're not getting sloppy, and the exercise suits using that bit of momentum, because using momentum isn't good for all exercises. Some it is good. This is just another random clip of bench press, 120 for 3. That was done on Sunday when I felt pretty damn rubbish. I did a deload day that day, just thought I'd go up pretty heavy on the bench. These are my deadlifts for the week. Felt rough before this session, didn't feel as energized as I would have liked. And I find deadlifts, I have to psych myself up. I have to be really in the mood to lift any considerable amount of weight. They were slow, 211 kilos for a difficult 3 reps. I would have liked that to feel a little bit easier. As with overhead press, this was done on the same day. 78.5 kilos for a couple of reps. Did 3 sets of that, but felt a little bit dizzy on some of those reps. I had the belt a little bit too tight. I wasn't getting my breathing in check. 10 reps, pretty easy here at 60 kilos. This was my midweek session and it wasn't really great. Deadlifts, overhead press, upright rows. I just felt kind of sluggish, as opposed to last week when I felt pretty damn good. 90 kilos upright rows. Again, this is another exercise where you can use momentum to help your performance. The weight would be massively hindered if I weren't using a small amount of momentum at the beginning of the lift. And I feel that I can get a decent amount of shoulder activation from this movement. It's not to say doing it strict isn't good, it's just one of those exercises where you can get away with slightly looser form. Dumbbell incline press 50 kilos for 7. Pretty pleased with that. That's the best I've done since nerve inflammation, and I'm still about 5k lighter, so that's all good. Starting pretty strict on the low row, and then as my energy deteriorates, as I'm unable to get the handles to my stomach, I then use a slight amount of backwards lean to try and gain that momentum to get the bar back. I'm still focusing on the lats, still squeezing hard. My elbows are still back as far as I would like them, and that's the key when you're training back, guys, especially horizontal rowing movements, elbow position. Get your elbows back as far as possible. If your elbows are only coming to your torso, you're not really getting as much activation as you could. Your elbows need to be back behind your body.